Do I keep my passwords written down on a piece of paper, or do I use a passwords management tool? What is the best way to keep my passwords safe? Hi, my name is Zan Thomas. I am with Arnie Consultants. We are a group benefits provider of legal and identity theft services. And I was on a SHRM call early this week, talk with other professionals here in the Triangle. The topic was different financial planning resources and tools. One of the topics came up was keeping those accounts, electronic accounts, safe and protected. And some folks talked about using, writing your passwords down, maybe having, 3, 4, 5 different passwords that you rotate through and use them differently, but have them written down so you're safe and secure when you get in. Other folks use, passwords management tool that generates these different passwords. You always have different unique passwords and can fill in passwords for you. And the debate came up. It's like, well, what happens if if you have your passwords written down and you rotate between 3 passwords through different accounts, 4 or 5 passwords different accounts, it's better than nothing. But the reality is, if something happens to one of those accounts and using similar passwords on other accounts, it could very quickly become compromised. But it is offline. It's all on paper. There's no way they can get to those passwords. The challenge is on using a electrical storage, a password management tool, where it's saved on a database, and you can have unique passwords for each one. They can be long. They can have all sorts of different funny characters, and it's all automatically generated. It's all managed. You have a unique password for every account. From that standpoint, but then what happens if that company has a data breach? Well, now all your passwords are out to everybody. So, what's the better situation? If you write it down and you're on your phone and you try to get into something, you can't remember what your password is, and you have to go through and reset it, or maybe you've got, I don't know, you're trying to get to your passwords and it's written down, you can't get to it. So there's what's the better option? What's the trade-off? And one of the things I'd mentioned was times change, right? There are times we didn't need health insurance, and now it's something you should have. The times you didn't need homeowners insurance, and now you need it. It's a responsible thing to have homeowners insurance. If you have a car, right, you can buy the best tires, have the safest car, be the most conservative driver, do all the driver safety testing, whatever it is. You can do everything to make sure that car is safe. It's still not going to guarantee that you won't have an accident. Because of that, you still need to have auto insurance. And I personally use an electronic password management system. My theory is if something was to happen to that database, I have all my information there. I can very quickly go through and change all that account information relatively quickly. If you want to write it down, you can do that as well. That is perfectly fine. Neither of them are foolproof. And it's never going to be foolproof. Our times are changing, and you need to have something in place to keep you protected. And that's where an identity theft service comes in place. So that if something happens, you are protected and you are restored. So however you manage your passwords, however you manage that information, that's great. But there's still always the chance, and that's why we have to have some sort of insurance to make sure that information is protected. So, and we of course offer an identity theft service as a group benefit to employees as a voluntary benefit. And if you are at all interested in making that resource available to your employees to make sure that there is no risk of the employer having responsibility for employees losing personal information, I'd be glad to talk to you about that. Please reach out. Once again, my name is Zan Thomas, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.